Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Matt DeLockery. Today, we're going to be continuing our series on American Christianity, how it's broken, why, what we can do about it. And today, we're going to talk about the biggest sin in Christianity. Now, there's several different things that this can refer to. It can refer to the worst thing that you can do from a Christian perspective. It can refer to the most central sin, and all the other ones are sort of derivative from that, or all of them are based off this one core thing. Or it could mean the thing that we're going to talk about today. What is the worst thing that you could do from the perspective of church people? Because there definitely is something that maybe not everybody has thought about, but once we discuss it, I think you'll realize, that it is actually a thing. And if you've ever been accused of this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it is disunity. Possibly not what a lot of you are expecting. Again, if you've been accused of this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For everybody else, let me explain why this is such a big deal and why, if you do this thing, you're going to be forever given the cold shoulder, if they even tolerate you around them at all. You're always going to be an outsider if you do this. Because the thing is, it is to make yourself an outsider. It's really to say, I'm not part of this group and I'm not on board with this whole thing that you're trying to do. Because more than anything else, church people want to have a nice, safe, comfortable environment where they can live free from the problems of the outside world, a place where they can raise their families in peace without being bothered by anybody. And to some extent, I think, that's really understandable. And that's something that quite a lot of us, sort of naturally want. The problem is, that's not church. That's not why we were put here. That's not what we're supposed to be doing with our time, to live free from the problems of the world and, just have a nice place where there's, no interference and nobody's going to bother you. Nobody's going to rock the boat. That's not church. See, the thing is, all humans are both beautiful and broken. We have beautiful parts of us and we have broken parts of us. And what God is trying to do with us, this is what Christianity is saying, what God is trying to do with us is to fix our broken parts and make our beautiful parts shine even more brightly. He's trying to help us to become the best humans we can be. So the thing is, if we ignore problems, if we refuse to talk about them, if we refuse to deal with anything serious, because that might rock the boat, that might make people feel uncomfortable, and this place is about being comfortable and, a nice environment, then we're literally ignoring what we're supposed to be doing. God says, do X, and we're like, no, I don't want to do X. I want to go do my thing. We're literally ignoring God. When we go to church, teaching is supposed to be something where somebody who's been there before us tells us, okay, this is the way to go. Don't go over here and don't go over there because I've tried that. Those don't work out very well. This is a better way to live. That's something that's supposed to happen. People with experience telling you this is how you should do, and people who have more knowledge saying this is what makes sense and here's the reasons why, and I want you to understand so that you know how to live your life and not just follow me because I said so, but here, let me explain it to you. Those are supposed to be the sorts of things that happen. And we're also supposed to be having discussions with other people because we don't always agree on everything. So we need person A being like, I think this is, right. And person B is like, no, I really think this is right. And both of them are absolutely convinced, but they can't both be right because they think different things. So we have a discussion about it. We hash it out together and we argue, but not in an angry way, as in we're both trying to get to the truth and find answers kind of way. That's the thing we're supposed to be doing. This is what the proverb that Christians will quote all the time actually looks like in practice. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. That's what happens in real life. There's the reason iron sharpens iron is because there's friction, because the rough edges get knocked off. And if you're interested in having a nice, safe, comfortable environment with no negative interactions, with no discomfort, with no friction with anybody else, then you're not going to get that. You have to actually interact with people about real things. You have to get down into the mess of your life because Becoming a better human, getting our broken parts fixed is not like just having, your house get a light dusting or maybe a coat of paint. Most of us need more, all of us need more work than that. I don't know almost anybody who lives anywhere near their potential. I've met a few people, so it's not impossible. But most people don't live anywhere near what they're capable of. We all need a lot of work, and it's not a light dusting or a coat of paint. We need a complete renovation. Knock some walls down, maybe take things all the way back to the foundation or even relay the foundation. It's going to take a lot of work for us to be the best humans we can be. But we have to actually put in the work. And that involves, covering things that are uncomfortable. That involves rocking the boat, because if your boat exists only to have a nice, safe, comfortable life free from the problems of the world, I mean, that boat has to rock if you're going to actually accomplish this task of becoming a better human. And there's a reason that we're doing this. It's for ourselves, because people are ends in and of themselves. We're not just means to an end. We are the ends. But we also have a job to do, and that's to make the world around us a better place. And anyone who's been looking at the world knows that it's pretty messed up. Right? So how do we fix that? It's going to take two things. You have to know what it should look like, which is not an easy thing to figure out. That's quite difficult. And two, it's going to take figuring out how to get there. And actually, three, getting there. Figuring out how to get there is about wisdom of knowing how to move from here to there. And actually getting there is about having the courage to stand up for what's right. Because there are people in this world who are actively trying to make it a worse place. And many of them believe that they're trying to make it better, but they're mistaken. Actually making the world a better place is going to involve conflict, because the people who are trying to make it worse want to see you fail. They're working against you because they've got a different idea. You have to know what it's supposed to be, and you have to have the courage to be able to stand up and do what's right if you're going to make the world a better place. And that's incredibly complicated. And the only way that we're going to do that is by first becoming better people ourselves. If we're still super messed up and broken, then there's no way we're going to be able to actually see clearly to make the world a better place. Remember what Jesus also said? You have to first remove the log from your own eye before you can see clearly to remove the speck from your neighbor's eye. You can't be a hypocrite about this. If you want to make the world look better, you got to be better yourself. And if you want to be better yourself, then you have to actually work on making yourself better. And if all we're interested in doing at church is to have a nice, safe, comfortable environment free from the problems of the world, we're never going to get there. We have to be actually engaged in the task of fixing ourselves first, so that we can then be able to see clearly to offer others help. And if we're not going to do that, then church is a waste of our time. But if we do that, then church has great value. The only question is, which sort of church are we going to go to? Or maybe I should say, which sort of church are we going to make?